It is Monday, January 9th, 2023, and we moved the cows back to the beginning of the field in October. It's about October 6th or 7th of last year. And so it's been almost exactly 3 months since we've been back here. This is the second move of this row. Let's kind of look what they did here. They did a number. There's a little bit of grass left, but they did eat it all. I'm really liking the wet feed. I think their manure looks a lot better with it. And I do see sometimes a little bit of grains in the manure, but not so much anymore. So I think I've solved that problem. May not get corn seeds growing, but hey, they're getting the nutrients now. Well, I didn't want to grow corn seeds in the first place. This is where we raise the chickens. You can kind of see there's a line here. This is where they were. This is where I moved them to. This is where I had the chickens. And I intended to move the chickens when I was raising them for meat. I never did. I just took down the wire netting here. I left it up kind of so that I can see like where it was. And kind of because I was half expecting to use this again for something. I just wasn't sure what. Anyway, the grass here is mostly dead. There's a little bit of grass growing. But it's dead for two reasons. The chicken liked to eat the grass. And also the chickens created a lot of nitrogen. When we caught the fish, I gave them the fish bones here to see what they would do with it, and the chickens didn't do anything with it, so it's just fish bones in the field. This is where we get power from. This is our charger. It's mostly charged. It might be a little short somewhere. I just run these 3 naked wires down to the fence here, where it hooks up. Ground is on the top. The second wire is 5,000 volts, and the third wire is 10,000 volts. And then I should probably run the wires here to connect them to the other wires, but whatever, it doesn't matter. Okay. There's a little shed. I got it as a very welcome gift. It's not worth very much at all. And we don't need these posts anymore. I need to get that reel. There's a reel there under those cows. There's a little bit of grass here. The grass is very green. But it's looking like a nice warm evening. It's about 68, 70 degrees right now. Tomorrow is just going to get quite warm. The wind is blowing from the south, bringing that southern moist warm air from the Gulf. You can see the shop, how far they've gotten on the shop there. We're waiting on electricity now. The contractor that does electricity is booked solid. I'm not in a rush to complete the shop. And we're also going to move, I think we're going to end up moving depends on how the cost ends up, but I have the meter pole, the temporary meter pole. So they had to install that pole there to cross the road. And then I have this pole here. I think this pole was like $150 with the box and everything attached to it. And then I just run a circuit with some wire to an exterior plug there, which is where I hook up the charger, right? Straightforward, basic electrician stuff. So, and then we're gonna move that pole so that from that pole to there we minimize the distance, and then probably we're gonna run wire underground to the shop. Don't know how it's gonna work out. I don't know whether the electric co-op, because the electric co-op they also bid me for running the wire underground and setting up the meter box on the shop there. We'll figure that out. But the electrician's supposed to be here any minute, any day when he gets time. It's nice to be an electrician right now, I'll tell you that much. They need electricians more than they need programmers. So once we get the electricity set up and we get the insulation, foam insulation, and we're going to put up those sheets so that we don't have to run the electric through conduit. And then the shop will be pretty much done, and then just some earthwork to create a nice parking lot and level things out. And then we'll be all done. So one more paycheck away from getting that shop done. You know. Oh, this is an old patty. This is really old. That's 3 months old. That's from October then. See, the grass has tried to grow back since then. Anyway, so yeah, October, I think it's 9th, actually, is when we were last here. The grass here is pretty thick, this part at least. Sheep are happy. Are you going to give me some lambs? Are you going to give me some lambs? The sheep just graze ahead of the cows. I think they like the company of the cows for protection. Oh, here's some of that old Indian grass. It's all dried out now, of course. I think that's a native grass. Not the best grass in the world, but it is grass. Ah! And yeah. So we did get some growth, I think. Not as much as I'd hope over the course of 3 months, especially given the rain and the warm weather we've had. So, you know, I was thinking about this. How does the grass know when it's springtime? And I had a couple thoughts. One is that there's a timer built into their genetics and their chemicals and stuff. There's like something that's ticking away, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Either counting the days and the cycles, or like the length of a chemical process that's taken a long time to run. And then the grass will know or guess when it's spring and just take off like a rocket. The other thought is that there's something the seasons, a message the seasons send to the grass, like some pattern that the grass is waiting for it to record before it takes off. I'm not exactly sure which it is. You know, looking at this grass in the light, it looks like there is a bunch of grass growing up. It's not very long and tall yet. So it's ideal weather conditions right now, I think, for growing grass. It's in the low 70s. The nights, last night got close to freezing, but not quite freezing. So I don't know what grass can ask for in terms of weather. And that's the weather I expect to see for the rest of winter. The crystal ball runs out in February, but up until February, it looks like, you know, reasonably warm weather with not so cold nights. Occasionally a drop below freezing, occasionally, but typically it's going to be in the 50s, 60s, and even in the 70s in the high for the day. So anyway, good times. Good times. You know, I think I'm just going to leave this little coop here. This was a shelter for the sheep. It's supposed to be a shelter for the sheep so that predators can't get to them at night. I'm just going to see what happens if I gave this grass another 3 months. I imagine it'll be up to my elbows in April. You know, also this pasture, this little area where the chickens were, where I overgrazed. I don't know what's going to happen here. I'm getting cow patties. The cows are pooping here for some reason. But I kind of want to see what happens here. This is not what I wanted to do with the chickens. I wanted to move them fairly rapidly. But the winter weather, we had rain, wind, we had some cold. And it was just too much work, and then the tarp wasn't quite working, and they were getting eaten one a day about. So, you know, we'll see. We'll see what happens. If I do chickens again, which I do plan on doing, I'm going to give them total cover. And then we'll do like chicken tractors. You know? Chicken tractors. All right, guys, signing off. Let's go take a look at the sky on this beautiful day. The sun's a little bit high still. What a beautiful day it is. This morning was a beautiful sunrise. I'm glad I was able to capture that. Have a great day, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.